Hey there, I hope you've been doing well. It's Keegan. I want to talk to you guys for like 30 seconds here at the very beginning to explain a couple of things. Number one, I'm going to jump right into the reading. I'll show you guys what I'm going to be focusing on, what I'm going to be asking, what the cards mean. But beginning with these readings, moving forward for the rest of 2021, I'm going to be offering extended readings beyond what I post for the general readings. And in the middle of this video, at some point, I'll insert a little explanation about what that means. There'll be no mid-roll ads. During this video, you'll just hang out with me for a little bit as I explain that. So let's go ahead and take a look just to get started on what I'm going to cover for the general reading here. I'm going to be taking a look at 8 different things here in a spread based on different aspects of the connection that you might have with this person. If you're not in a relationship with someone, you can still watch this if you'd like. You can view this as the person who's approaching you next. But this is a love reading, taking a look at an actual relationship here. So these are the things I'm going to be taking a look at. You can see them here on the screen. If you're not looking at the screen, you might want to take a look really quickly and just pause it. But what I'll do is I have 2 decks, and I'm going to basically go through and I'll pull a couple of cards from each of those decks and see what wants to come out. And then, as I mentioned, there will be an extended reading based on what happens in the general reading, and I'll jump in the middle of the video to talk to you guys more about what will be covered in that extended reading. All right, Cappies, let's see what wants to come out for you guys. Taking a look at 8 different aspects of this connection. I'm just going to shuffle the decks up a little bit for the people who like to see the decks being shuffled. That one feels good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to grab another deck so we can have 2 cards under each of these categories to take a look at. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Capricorns, let's see what's going on here. First thing we're going to take a look at is what you're bringing into this relationship. Coming out here, we have the 9 of Coins coming out with the King of Wands. Let's talk about this combination. I actually really like this, to be honest with you. I want to start by talking about this 9 of Coins. Let's try and get that to focus a little bit better. One second, guys. There we go. All right. So this 9 of Coins isn't at all surprising to me for my Capricorns because, you know, the 9 of Coins represents a place where you're very self-sufficient. You have the things that you need. You've acquired basically the life that it is that you want to manifest. On top of that, with this King of Wands, you're someone who's very outgoing, someone who is very sure of themselves and exudes a certain type of confidence as they move through the world. The energy of this, in terms of picking up on the energy of what, you know, you're bringing into this relationship, in a way, I feel like it's almost a bit intimidating to this other person. It's not so intimidating to the point that it is going to cause a problem, but I think that you are, like, I hate to say it this way, but it's like you're a leveling up for them compared to who they've been with in the past. They look at you and they just feel like, I don't know if this other, you know, we'll take a look at the other person. I'm just tuning into the energy here. I don't know if this other person has some confidence issues or self-esteem issues, but there is something here where they, because of this is the energy that you're bringing into the relationship, it almost feels like they are thinking, why are they interested in me? And I'm curious if that's going to show up elsewhere in the cards as we take a look at this. But this is just you. This is you at your best. And I like that you're showing up in this relationship at your best. Often when I do readings for Capricorn, you guys can either like water yourself down so as to not intimidate, or you just decide it's not worth the effort of trying to like be with someone because, you know, often you do intimidate people. You do create situations where Um, Potential partners, potential friends can be a bit intimidated by what it is that you've accomplished. Now, what's interesting about Capricorn is you guys really don't care if other people have the same sort of success or the same sort of um, like things to show for the hard work. What matters to you, what truly matters to you in terms of the people that you connect with, is that they have ambition, that they're dependable, that they have drive, that they have something that's motivating them to continue to strive. But in terms of actually being able to show like monetary aspects of that, or having something that's like big and flashy, you guys don't care about that as much when it comes to the other person, because again, right, like Nine of Coins, you have all of that yourself. You're not looking for someone else to come in and bring this into your life, right? So if someone comes in and they have lots of ambition, lots of drive, but what they're focused on is not necessarily something that's going to make them like a millionaire, you're fine with that. It's the ambition that matters to you. But this other person is a little bit intimidated, but it's not something that feels like it's a deal breaker. It's just the fact that, like, I'm so curious to explore this other person first. Let's take a look at them, but I want to just explain what I'm saying. The people in their past have probably been like, it feels like the people that they've been involved with in the past took advantage of them in terms of what it is that they have to offer, whether that's financial, whether that's just, their time or their affection, or whatever it may be. And with you, it's intimidating to them because you're not asking anything of them. You're not expecting anything of them. You're not looking for anything from them. You are coming in with a very independent, self-sufficient sort of energy. And because of that, they're looking at you and they're asking, well, why are they with me if they don't want something from me? That's where it's coming from. That's why I'm saying it's not like a big deal. It's something they need to work on, but it's not something that you need to be concerned with, because they need to understand that just being them, just being who they are, is enough. They don't have to like give and give and give. But historically in the past in their connections, I'm just picking up very strongly of energy of them being taken advantage of people, taking a lot more than they gave back. Now, what is this other person bringing into the relationship? Let's see what we have here. We have the Ace of Wands, and then we have the Six of Swords. Both of them are reversed. This Ace of Wands, this feels like that past energy that I'm talking about, where I think in the past they've looked at those past connections and they've really kind of been hung up on them. This person has some stuff that they need to sort through, that they need to deal with. The Six of Swords being reversed here is energy. Again, it's stuck energy. This is very interesting in terms of a dynamic. I want to just talk to you guys about what I'm getting energetically. The cards mean what the cards mean. I'm picking up a lot about this person, and so I'm assuming that for the Capricorns that are going to watch this, they're really trying to sort out and understand this other person. This person may not be communicating or being very transparent with you about what they've gone through in the past. There's a plane or a helicopter or something going by, guys. I'm going to try to pause to let that pass. This person looks at their past connections and they wonder why, even though they did so much, gave so much, tried so hard, it didn't work. They're internalizing the failure of that relationship, meaning they didn't do enough, right? That's how they've historically gone through their relationships. They bring people in who take advantage of them, and then they wonder, well, how much more could I have given to try to make them be happy, or what else could I have done to try to make this work? It's like they're missing the point. You come in and you're basically like, I don't need you, right? Like, I have a good life. I'm happy. I have lots of friends. I have lots of connections. I have lots of people who are interested in me. For you, Capricorn, you're looking at this person and you're like, there's something about you that I'm interested in, but I don't need anything from you. I give myself the things that I need. That terrifies this person because they're coming in with a mindset of, historically, no matter what I've done, what I've given, what I've tried, it hasn't worked. And you're coming in with energy that's like, I don't need anything from you. So it automatically puts them in a place where they feel like, well, why are you interested? This person has had a lot of people in their past who have really taken advantage of them. Like a lot. I want to take a look and see what it is that you stand to receive or gain from being in the connection with this person. So there's that, they had the Ace of Coins. No, they had the Ace of Wands. Sorry, the Ace of Wands reversed. Ace of Pentacles coming out reversed here with you in terms of what you stand to gain with the Six of Wands. Okay? Now, Six of Wands, great card, right? So victory, success, good news, having something that is a big accomplishment with that Six of Wands. What is that about? Ace of Pentacles reversed. So the Ace of Pentacles, when it's reversed here, I feel like what this is talking about is, Capricorns, you can have a tendency to prioritize work over everything else, right? I feel like what you are going to receive from this connection is an understanding that as long as you're focused on it, as long as you're focused on work and your professional life and money and finances and things like that, as long as you're focused on it, you're going to have success because that's just the nature of your sign. If you're a Capricorn and you're not having financial success and you're not having career success and the things that you want to manifest, you're not actually able to do those, there's something going on there because Capricorns, I don't know, you guys just have this drive and ambition. You're hard workers. And so when you're focused on something, you're committed to it. I think what happens in this connection with this person is that you realize you don't have to be as stressed about it. You just have to maintain the focus. You just have to show up, do what you know you need to do, and then you get the rewards for it. It's interesting tuning into the energy of the people who will watch this because I feel like you're coming out of one period of your life and you're entering into another. And this new period that you're entering into is one where you really just start to relax and you start to enjoy this Nine of Coins, right? I mean, here's the thing as a reader. When I said, like, what are you bringing to the relationship? You showed up with the Nine of Coins. So you're bringing in a life that is already going well. You're bringing in all of the accomplishments that you have. And I think what's happening for you is you're looking at what you've done. You're looking at what you've accomplished, where you're at. And it's not that you're like, okay, well, this is good enough, because you're always going to push to like make it better, have more, right? That's just, again, it's the nature of your sign. But you look at it and you think, wow, you know what? Maybe I don't have to have like the accelerator all the way down all the time. Maybe I can exist where I'm at for a period of time and try to create something with somebody. It's interesting because I feel like you're looking around at everything that you have in the life that you've made, and there's a desire on your part to have someone to share it with. It's very interesting with this person because I think part of what you like about this person is that they're not drawn to you because of your success. They're not drawn to you because of what you have. Right? So it's a situation which there's an interesting sort of mirroring here where this person isn't expecting a lot of you. And the reason they're not expecting a lot of you is because the people in the past have not really given them a very high bar. Right? If you're returning phone calls or text quickly, or you're not gaslighting this person or manipulating them or taking advantage of them, then you're already like above the bar of what they've experienced. And I think that you like that. You like that they're, they're not triggering any of the alarms for you in terms of people who are just looking at you in terms of like what they think they can get from you, or looking at you in terms of like the connections you can make for them. What does this person gain? I hope that it's good. Page of Wands with the Fool reversed. That's an interesting it's an interesting pairing here. The Page of Wands to me feels like this person gains a lot of confidence. I'm going to go with confidence. Bravery, maybe, is another word that I would say with this. They just realize that, with this Fool card reversed, they realize that there's a time to be a little bit of a risk taker. But you help them to understand how to do it in a way that is not destructive. The one thing that I will say about Capricorns is that you guys are very calculated, very strategic, but you're not afraid to take risk, especially when it comes to your career. So, for example, if you don't feel like you're being valued at a job, you know that your background, your successes, your accomplishments, your references, the things that you can show, you're so confident in yourself that if you're not getting what you think you deserve in a certain position, you'll leave. You'll go somewhere else that will appreciate you. Right? A lot of times that would terrify people to leave something they know for something that's unknown. But for you, you're like, I know myself. I trust myself. I know wherever I go, I'm going to do a good job. Wherever I go, I'm going to be a hard worker. Wherever I go, I'm going to contribute. So I'm okay taking risk. I'm okay leaving a city and going to another city to take a job. I know I'll make friends, right? Like, it's this. This is what you come in with, right? I know I'll make friends. I know I'll meet people. I know I'll be successful. I know that I'll thrive. That's the energy you're coming in with. This person gains some of that from you, where they realize that sometimes taking a risk, and it feels very much like taking a risk on themselves. You might inspire this person to go back to school. You might inspire this person to launch a business, to consider thinking about their life in a different way. And I like that for them, because again, they've not had a lot of people to believe in them or to inspire them or encourage them in their life. And they gain that from being in this connection with you. So we're going to take a look here. This is going to be specific to you, Capricorn. This is any of your secrets or fears that you have that, have to do with this relationship. Anything that's really kind of something you're keeping to yourself, but that's bothering you. And after we look at these cards, we'll talk about the rest of this reading, and then we'll talk about the fact there's an extended reading where we're going to take a look at this relationship a little bit more in depth. Okay, what's going on here in terms of secrets or fears for you? We have the Hangman, which is upright, and the Star, which is upright. Doesn't really feel a lot like fear to me, right? Doesn't feel a lot like fear. It could be something that you are keeping secret from this person. Let's talk about these two cards. So the Hangman is really about this is you really knowing and understanding yourself. And the fact that I feel like you've spent a lot of time figuring out how to do what it is that you do in terms of manifesting, in terms of generating the success that you have. The Star card really it's so interesting. I don't know. I don't think I've ever said this in a reading on YouTube. I don't know if someone is going to watch this particular reading who is very much prominent in terms of like you're known. So you could be like a politician, you could be, you know, some sort of like athlete, but I feel like you're known, you're public facing, and you have spent a lot of time figuring out how to deal with that, how to internalize it. And again, this isn't for every. I'm speaking very specifically about energy coming through here. You can translate this however you want, right? But someone who's going to watch this, you need to hear that. You're very public facing, and it causes you to really have to filter people. For the rest of you, what this feels like to me in terms of the secret is this person might not know what all you have. And that feels like it might be something deliberate on your part to test them, to see, like I just was shown a flash of someone who deliberately drove a different car than the one that they actually have for like the first time meeting this person. Like they showed up very understated in terms of how they were dressed in a car that, you know, they borrowed from a friend, or even like a rental car, because they didn't want to show up dressed how they would normally dress. You didn't want to show up dressed how you would normally dress, driving what you would normally drive, because you want to make sure that this person isn't in it for what you have. You want to make sure that they're in it for you. This feels more secret-based than fear-based to me energetically. It's something that you're keeping kind of protected. What's interesting to me is for the person or people who you're very public facing, you're known, this person doesn't know who you are. They don't know. And it's interesting because it's like in today's world, when you meet someone, the first thing you do is like Google them and try to, you know, see what's going on. I don't feel like this person operates that way, because their expectation is that, from based on the people they've dealt with, their expectation is like, why would they do that, right? Because they've just sort of had this experience of like the same type of person. It's very interesting, the energy that I'm picking up, because Capricorn, I would say from your side, any test that you've done with this person in terms of trying to see whether they're, you know, what their character is like, I feel like they've passed. And so it's creating a situation. I understand why, you know, in terms of what they gain, I understand why you really do start to become really intrigued by this person. And I think that you see something inside of them in terms of their potential that they don't see about themselves. And you really do have this desire to kind of encourage them and to help them, to teach them in a way. And I think that's true even like if this doesn't work in terms of a romantic connection, if this ultimately like doesn't go anywhere, I feel like you still want to try to have this person in your life. You still want to be a resource for them, because I think you genuinely do like them. You like who they are as a person. So we're going to take a look. This is the common ground or the shared goals that you have in the relationship. And then we'll look at your perception of them and their perception of you a little bit more in depth. But before we look at that, I'm going to insert something here, and I hope you guys will watch, because I'm going to do an extended reading, and I want to talk to you guys about what's covered in that extended reading and how you can get access to it, in case you're interested in signing up as a channel member so you can have access to those extended readings moving forward. So I'm going to insert that now, and then we'll come right back and we'll take a look at the rest of the cards. Hey guys, it's me. As promised, I'm jumping in here in the middle to talk to you guys for a little bit. This would be considered your mid-roll ad break, but please don't click away from me, because I want to explain something to you guys. Even if you're not interested in the extended readings, you might be down the road when I post a general reading. So I just want you to know, if you're still here hanging out, I want you to know what's going on. So first of all, I just want to talk to you about the easiest way to get access to those. I'm going to have links that are in the description box below directly to the extended reading, as well as a link that will take you directly to the sign up page to become a member here on the channel. The extended readings are going to be members only, and the reason for that is because I wanted to shrink the number of people that I was tuning into for those extended readings. So it allows me to go a little bit more in depth and get a little bit more specific because instead of reading for thousands of people, I'm probably going to be reading for dozens or 100, right? So that's the purpose behind doing the extended readings. I also want to bridge the gap between the people who want a little bit more information than what I can do in the general readings, but maybe can't afford a personal reading with me, or they aren't comfortable doing a personal reading with me, and they want to get a little bit more of an explanation from the cards. So that's why I'm doing that. Now, I also want to let you guys know what I'm going to look at in that extended reading, so you can make up your mind about whether it's something that's interesting to you in terms of this reading, or if you want to wait and maybe join up the next time. What you can see here is I'm going to take a look at a few more things in terms of this relationship, this connection. We'll focus in on those. I'm going to use 2 decks again. I'll pull 2 cards, one from each deck, look at the energy of those things, and that's what we'll be taking a look at in the extended reading. Now, if you're not looking at the screen, you might want to take a look, because I have it listed here on the screen for you. But I just wanted to jump in and let you guys know exactly what was going on, and we're going to go right back into the general reading now. Okay, so let's take a look here at the common ground or shared goals that the two of you have in terms of this relationship. Very interesting here, because we have the Ace of Cups upright with the 7 of Wands, which is reversed. The 7 of Wands, to me, it's very interesting, because the 7 of Wands as a card is not necessarily the best card. Okay, I'm just going to be honest with you, right? It's about plans not working out the way that we want to. It's about giving up on something, having to deal with, some sort of threat, some sort of outside competition, right? This Ace of Cups feels very good to me, because it feels like both of you are looking at this as being something that really feels like it has a lot of opportunity in it. You're both going into this with a feeling that this could be something that is good, but underneath that, right? Underneath that feeling, both of you have this this fear of it not materializing, or not being able to grow. I think, we've talked about that a little bit. I'm more confused for you, Capricorn, where your doubts are coming in, because again, this is shared, right? For them, I understand it, because from the very beginning, right, they're a little bit intimidated. They haven't had the experience of being with someone who is good, someone who is, dependable, loyal. They haven't had that experience. So for them, I understand why it's like, oh gosh, I want it so bad, but I'm not sure I'm not sure if it's going to work out for me. But Capricorn, your energy around that, it seems a little bit unclear. I don't think it has anything to do with this particular person, to be honest with you. It feels almost like there's just doubt inside of you about whether or not you can do relationships well. And what I'll say to you about that is everything I said earlier to you about like your work life, right? Like when we were talking about, this stuff, the same thing is true for you in relationships. As long as your focus is on it, as long as you're putting in the effort, as long as you're doing what you need to do, you're going to be great at it. Right? Like, I think that is what the fear is inside of you. It's just an uncertainty, because again, I think you've been focused for a long time on making sure that you have the things that you want, the life that you want, the lifestyle that you want. And now you're in a place where you're thinking, I want someone to share this with, and you're realizing, am I good at that? Can I have that? Because it hasn't been a focus for you. Let's take a look and see what your perception of this other person is. Very interesting. So keep in mind, you're coming in with this King of Wands energy. You perceive them to also be a King of Wands, with the Moon card, both of these cards showing up upright. You're very captivated by this person. This King of Wands card to me is just, you're so intrigued by them, and you think that they are charming. You really do like the way that they like move through the world. I think this person does not fully understand themselves the way that they are. You know, the moon represents things that are unseen, mysteries. There's also a play here in terms of like, you just instinctually, your intuition is telling you that this person is someone to pay attention to. They don't see themselves this way though. And I think that's part of what really, really intrigues you so much about them, is that they aren't aware of how they are. You really do see a lot of who this person is that they do not see about themselves. And it's because of this past, the way that the past, people from the past have sort of ripped this person down, made this person feel bad about themselves. They don't see themselves accurately, but you do. And it's almost like, because you can see them how they are, and you see that they don't realize how they really are in a good way, it pulls you in, because you want to like you want to help them like be able to see themselves. It's so interesting. Like, I'm just going back through the energy, you know, at the very beginning when I was like, their energy was coming through from like, why are they, what do they don't seem to want anything from me, so why do they want me? This person just has very, very, very low self-esteem. And it's based solely on like the stuff from the past. They've internalized all of the negative stuff that people have said and done to them. So it's left them with a very inaccurate picture of themselves. Let's take a look here. This will be the last thing we look at here in the general read. This is their perception of you, how they perceive you. Queen of Wands reversed with the Three of Swords reversed. Okay. So what does this mean in terms of their perception of you? Well, this is very interesting because, you know, the Queen of Wands reversed is it's a card that, like, the redeeming aspects of the Queen of Wands reversed, it's hard to come up with some, and don't click away. I'm not saying that they think you're like, you know, a horrible person. The Queen of Wands is a very kind of self-focused, I'm just going to put it that way, self-focused sort of energy, right? This Three of Swords is the reason I'm saying it's not a horrible thing, because the Three of Swords represents pain and things that we've gone through, but that we are in the process of healing, or that we have healed. What this feels like to me is they just see you as someone who has gone through some stuff, but has always been able to focus on themselves and prevent themselves from being like beaten down by what's happened to them. They see that when something happens to you, Capricorn, you kind of like use that as fuel to push yourself. You know, if someone is like, oh, you know, you're never going to be able to do that. For them, if someone says you're never going to be able to do that, they're like, yeah, you're probably right. For you, if someone says you're never going to be able to do that, you're like, watch me. I'm not only am I going to do that, I'm going to do that and this, just to show you how capable I am. And they perceive that in you, right? You know, the Queen of Wands reversed, I will just say, like, again, this person is intimidated. This person is, they're very uncomfortable with trying to engage with you, because they're so aware of this differential, this gap between where your confidence is and where theirs is. They're aware of that. So what I will say to you, just to wrap this up, if you're not going to join me for the extended, if you're going to join me for the extended, we're going to take a much deeper look at this to see what else we can get. But if you're not going to do that, I just want to say to you, it's really important with this person that you start to share with them why it is that you are interested in them. It's really important that you tell this person the things that you appreciate about them, because they don't know that they possess those qualities. And what will probably happen is when you say it to them, they're going to be like, "Oh no, that's not me." And it's almost like you have to just keep encouraging them to think better about themselves. But they get there, right? Because that was clear in terms of like what they gain. They gain a certain amount of confidence through this connection. And again, it's regardless of whether this lasts for a long time or not, they gain that just because they realize, well, wait, even though this didn't work, I'm not saying it's not going to work, right? But I'm just saying, like, even if it doesn't work, they can look at this and say, well, yeah, but this person really was into me because of how I am and who I am and what I have to offer. And they didn't want anything from me. They didn't expect anything from me other than just me being myself. And that's like a huge lesson for someone to learn, especially considering what they've dealt with in the past. Okay? So Capricorns, I like this person. I hope that you are able to be patient with them, because I think you're going to have to really have some patience and understanding, because they're going to push back a lot of, any of the good stuff you say to them. They're going to have lots of negative stuff going on in their head that they'll have to deal with, right? But I like this. And I also like the fact that, they aren't going to be, they're not into you because of what you have to offer monetarily, right? They're into you because of who you are. They are really drawn to your confidence and your self-esteem, more so than they're drawn to like your car or your home or like what's in your bank account. Okay? So if you're joining me for the extended reading, the link for that is in the description box below, as well as a link of what you need to do to sign up to get access to those. If you're going to do that, I'll see you there. If you are calling it quits here, you got everything that you needed, then I will see you in a couple of weeks when we start taking a look at what's going on energetically for February.